We often hear that it's good to be kind and generous, putting others before ourselves. But do people ever tell us about the risks of being overly kind and compassionate? In our world, not everyone returns the kindness we show, and there are many generous folks who end up giving away a lot of their money and energy without much thought. Can being overly generous be harmful, even risking your well-being? Prepare to be surprised by the unexpected downsides of kindness. Today, I'll share 8 things that can happen when you're too good and introduce 4 stoic strategies to protect yourself from being taken advantage of. Let's begin with the first one. Number 1. Unrealistic expectations. The Stoics taught us to accept things as they are and not tie our happiness to how others behave. When you give without expecting too much in return, you avoid disappointment and practice emotional detachment, which can lead to greater peace of mind. It can be tough for us to be completely selfless when we're generous. Whether we realize it or not, when we give a lot, we often expect others to do the same in return. But when we need help with something important, we've trained people to rely on us so much that they assume we can handle everything, especially our own responsibilities. Because otherwise, why would we be taking on theirs? The truth is, your hope for reciprocity won't always be met, and what you'll experience is likely to be a mix of bad moods, fatigue, frustration, and disappointment. However, if we approach this situation with a dispassionate view, we'll realize that people aren't letting us down. They're just doing what we should also be doing, taking care of their own responsibilities. Number 2. When you're always giving things to people, they might start to expect it from you. According to the Stoics, it's important to remember that true worth comes from doing the right thing and being sensible, not just doing what others want. Giving in a balanced way and not overdoing it helps you stay in control of your actions and prevents you from forming habits that could hurt your emotional well-being. Think about it this way. People tend to get used to routines and habits, like staying in their comfort zone. So if you keep giving all the time, the people receiving your generosity might start expecting it all the time. This could make them rely on you too much and neglect their own responsibilities, because they know you'll always be there to help. The main issue here is not recognizing your own worth. If you don't value yourself, it's unlikely that someone else will remind you to do so. Don't expect others you're helping to act like a supportive friend because they might be more focused on their own needs, like a personal Robin Hood. But remember, this could negatively affect their own lives. Number 3. Another thing to consider is that your own priorities might get ignored. The Stoics, who were big on living wisely and virtuously, stressed the importance of setting boundaries and taking care of our own responsibilities. This is crucial for keeping a healthy balance in your life and not sacrificing your true self and well-being for others. If you're always putting other people's needs before your own, you might be running away from something inside you that's causing you pain and fear. Think about how you feel when you spend weekends alone or return home without anyone waiting for you. If you're doing these things to escape from yourself, it's going to be tough. You'll eventually have to confront your inner self, and in the meantime, your mood will worsen as you neglect your own priorities to take care of others. Taking care of yourself is really important for your well-being. Before you help others or do things for them, make sure you're happy and well cared for. It's like enjoying a chocolate before giving one to someone else, or cleaning your own house before offering to clean a friend's and enjoying some relaxation time. Remember, you should come first before everything else. Number 4 is that if you don't stand up for yourself and set boundaries, people might see you as weak. Being strong on the inside and having self-control is encouraged. When you have boundaries and self-discipline, others will respect you instead of thinking you're weak. If you help others too much without boundaries, they might start treating you like an authority figure. It might seem strange, but not setting boundaries can make people think you're weak, not strong. They may rely on you to do their work because they know you won't say no. However, once you start using the word no and setting limits, they will begin to respect you in a way they hadn't before. In the 5th point, you'll encounter many individuals who only approach you when they want something. Stoicism teaches us to value our ability to make thoughtful choices and use wisdom. By being selective in helping others through self-control and clear thinking, we can distinguish genuine people from those looking to take advantage of us. This helps us avoid wasting our time and energy on unproductive situations. Suddenly, those who used to consider you a good friend may start excluding you from fun activities and only reach out when they need something. If we analyze it from a practical standpoint, it's not surprising because people typically don't invite their colleagues or collaborators for social gatherings or share a drink together. However, just because it's logical doesn't mean it's fair. Therefore, it's essential to learn strategies to prevent people from using you, which I'll share with you later. Moving on to the sixth point, you'll mainly attract individuals who are in need, but not those who are willing to give. Through Stoic discernment, we can nurture genuine and mutually beneficial relationships. The people who come into our lives are drawn by the energy we emit. When our energy is low, we attract negative, pessimistic individuals with negative intentions. Conversely, when our energy is high, we attract people who radiate positivity, generosity, enthusiasm, hard work, and joy. That's why when we give without thinking, we use up a lot of our energy, and we end up feeling drained. This low energy makes needy people and even opportunists who only want to take advantage of us without any intention of giving back gravitate towards us. They just want to use us and then disappear without even saying thank you. Number 7, you might end up developing an addiction. The Stoics believed in moderation and self-control. Practicing self-discipline in your generosity helps you avoid getting trapped in addictive behaviors and allows you to maintain a healthy relationship with your actions and choices. When we face scarcity in our lives, our needs can grow, and this makes it easier to fall into addiction. So, one day, someone close to you might notice that you're drinking too much, not necessarily water, eating excessively, or gambling excessively. Listen carefully to what someone who cares about you says. Your initial reaction might be to get angry and deny having any problems. However, this is a common reaction among people who are so caught up in their own issues that they can't see their own problems. Always remember that people who care about you only want what's best for you. Take their observations seriously because they are trying to help you avoid falling further and move forward. When you're too showy or draw too much attention to yourself, people might start to wonder what you're up to. Stoicism teaches us to do the right thing, even if others don't understand or approve. By staying true to our values and principles, we create a strong reputation that can't easily be questioned or doubted. In this world, truly kind people are rare. So, if you are genuinely kind, others might not trust your kindness. They may start to wonder if you have hidden motives or secrets. This means that when people don't fully trust your kindness, it's not always because they're being overly suspicious. Sometimes it's just a cautious approach to protect themselves from potentially harmful intentions. So, it's important to be careful when dealing with overly enthusiastic individuals and consider whether their help is genuinely helpful. Let's talk about how to stop people from taking advantage of you. Here's the first strategy. Pay attention to your feelings. Your emotions are like messengers trying to tell you something important. Think of it like this. Imagine you're like a Stoic philosopher. They believed in understanding themselves deeply. So, when you help others, pay close attention to how it makes you feel. If helping others makes you feel really good, like you're walking on clouds, that's great. But if it leaves you feeling overwhelmed, drained, angry, or used, that's a sign you need to listen to your feelings. You shouldn't feel this way when you're helping unless it's really necessary and important. So don't ignore those uncomfortable feelings. They're trying to tell you something about how helping others is affecting you. Strategy 2. Don't be afraid to say no. Think of your time and energy as valuable resources. If you feel overwhelmed or someone asks too much, it's okay to say no. This helps you control your life. Even though saying no might seem negative, it's essential. If you can't say no, you'll end up with a negative and stressful life. Practice saying no in front of a mirror. Convince yourself it's the only way to protect your time and avoid unnecessary stress. Strategy 3. Make time for yourself. Follow the Stoic idea of self-discipline and self-respect. Set aside time for things you enjoy, like yoga, drawing, or listening to music with a cup of tea. Finish your duties quickly so you can do this regularly. If someone asks for your time during your me time, they should respect it. Politely say no and enjoy your personal time. You can offer help another time, but make it clear that your free time is limited because you need it for yourself. Strategy 4. Stay away from energy-draining people. Recognize which relationships benefit you and which don't. Avoid people who always bring you down and don't contribute positively. Trying to help them won't work. They just want to complain, not solve problems. In life, balance is key. Don't give too little or too much. Find the middle ground. Remember, it's okay to say no, especially when it's important for your well-being. These tips can help you apply Stoic wisdom in your life.